Now we move on to The Incredibles, a 2004 release. Now, this was directed by Brad Bird. What can I say about The Incredibles? Let's give a summary. Basically, it starts off the movie. You have Mr. Incredible and a bunch of other superheroes like Elastigirl, and basically there's an event that happens where all superheroes in the world get banned and they have to go into hiding and live real lives, live their real identities, and give up being a superhero. And this is where Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, they get married at the start of the movie, and then they have a family. We go then like 15 years later, where they've got kids, and they are living normal lives and no longer superheroes. And then Mr. Incredible gets pulled back into the superhero world, and then he brings his whole family into this world as well. And then we see this evil, villainous Syndrome, the character who is basically at the start of the movie, this evil villain is a fanboy of Mr. Incredible, and he wants to be his sidekick, and Mr. Incredible doesn't want him as a sidekick, and he sort of like tells him to go home, buddy. This is the kid's name. And then he turns villainous. He starts inventing these high-priced weapons, makes a load of money, and becomes a super villain on this super island, and he decides he wants to take revenge on Mr. Incredible, and it takes him years later, but then we see them come together to fight each other in the end, and it's just a great story, and I really enjoy The Incredibles. I will say, watching this again this morning, just to recap and refresh my brain on The Incredibles, because I've not watched it in a while, it is so much, you can see the inspiration from like the early Adam West Batman show, when it's just like from the music is very Batman-esque in like when I talk about like the old original Batman TV show and the Batman movie, it's got that feel to it by Michael Giacchino. It's just in general, it's got that feel of like an old, like not an old, like a classic comic book. It just feels like I'm watching it and it's just like, it's cheesy, it's goofy, but I really dig it. I think it's a fun movie, and Incredibles, I know a lot of people like Incredibles. I know it's all these choices here are big movies that a lot of people like. It spawned a sequel, The Incredibles 2, that come out a good few years later. I'd love to see an Incredibles 3 at some point. I think it would be great. I'm sure we will, because these movies are so beloved, and I hope we do get to see an Incredibles 3 at some point. But it's just a fantastic film, and I just love the essence of them all like Batman shows, and it feels like there's a lot of inspiration from them shows put into this movie, and I just absolutely love it. So The Incredibles, visually, it looks amazing. Interesting fact as well, I was reading up on this, and it was basically they had to invent new ways of technology of displaying these human characters for Pixar, because it was like the first movie that really featured human characters, so they had to really change the technology for this movie, and Brad Bird is directed a superb film here. So The Incredibles is my third choice of best Pixar movie of the 2000s.